Guten Tag. So now that we've do that, now we get to the fun part, which is your cash flow sheet. Now, the video was actually previous video, or the next video, the previous video, was from 2023 and not much changed, but a few things changed. So let's go through that here real quick. Now, one of the things that we've done this year is that we added another, people wanted more, they wanted another level for income because 3 apparently wasn't enough, which is a good thing. So again, I plugged some of the numbers in here just for an example. And it's the same, that part's the same. You finish your budget, you plug in your numbers for whenever it happens. And then here on the expense sheet, and again, people wanted more. So instead of 6, there's now 8. So, and those are reflected here now that we're getting into the cash flow. On the previous examples, you know, I changed the deal, and I didn't change it because I didn't change it on the actual here. So again, once you, whatever you put in for your 4 levels of income, 4 income deals, you know, they show up here, and then you put it in there, and that's why Stephen, when I changed it to Stephen the last time, it didn't show up because I didn't change it in the actual. You have to change it in the actual. So again, the date, whose it is, how much. This is all the same. You know, you put down your date, you put down who the vendor is, the category, the subcategory, and the amount. So now then, this, again, this reflects that. So everything here comes through automatic. Whatever you put in your income and your expenses for your budget, these show up here on your cash flow. A couple other things that we've added from this year is the unplanned expenses. Before, last year's was a little more complicated to do. You had to do some of your own work and on the thing, and so this year we've got our totals in here, what you've got. But this year we made it so where it's automatic. It'll automatically, whenever you enter it in, your adjustment, you know, here's an example. Okay, so we had $1,500 in your budget for Megan. But this year we've got the deal here where, oh, come on. The actual, we've entered that in here on the actual. She didn't make 1,500, she actually made 1,550. So now that shows up there, but the new cash flow sheet here automatically takes that into account, and it shows. So $4,100 is what was budgeted. You actually got an extra 50, so it automatically takes that into account. Same thing with your expenses. This is what you have budgeted. And there's your total expense adjustment of $73. So we've got $25.75, and you go down here to the bottom, $25.75, and it's actually $26.48. So that's actually spent more. So it makes that adjustment here for you automatically. And then same thing here. You know, we had $360 for the budget. We actually spent $12 less, so it makes that adjustment for you. Now here on the unplanned expenses, you'll see here on the 4th, is showing an expense adjustment of 30 because we had an unplanned expense here in January. You had to go get gas again because you had to do a lot more running around than you thought. So we've entered in the gas here in the actual. And so the cash flow, whether you put it in or not, it's going to show up. But it's a good idea to just go ahead here. Same thing, you got all your categories here, and you can still do that here. And so we spent $30 there, and so now there is no expense adjustment because you put it in. And again, once you do this, if you do it on a daily basis, it's all completely automatic. Everything follows through. Again, whenever you're starting this, middle of January, end of January, sometime in February, you put your starting amount here in January, and it'll carry forward. So whatever that you had through there, see, this one goes here to the end of January. And go back to January, and we can scroll down here to the end. Not so much. So we got, see here again, we got income adjustments, different things. That part's all automatic for you. So we got 13,798, and we go to February, 13,798, and then over here we have some of the graphs here for you. Some are, how much you spent, what day of the week. This is a good one. This is your available cash by day. We're going to get to the other one here in a minute. When we get to the tables, we're going to do a separate video on the tables. It's your high and low and what your net cash was for the day. So people find it advantageous to look at that. So there we go. That's the cash flow. It's almost completely automatic. The only thing you really need to do is make sure that you, again, put in every day whatever you've spent, put it in your actual, because that's what's going to go into your cash flow, and is going to go into all these tables, which we're going to go through and explain in detail here on the next video.